Okay, let's stick with individuals for now. It seems as though the authors, like Piaget, use constructivism as a theory for understanding individual learning. Everyone talks about constructivism these days, but I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Yes, constructivism is very influential and means a lot of different things to a lot of different people these days. The authors try to distinguish what they view as genuine or radical constructivism, that is, an interpretation of constructivism that fits with coherence theory. They write that many people mistakenly impose traditional assumptions on the term constructivism, namely that it involves taking in prepackaged information about the world and constructing our understanding from it like a building. This is not what genuine radical Piagetian constructivism means, the authors and other big thinkers like von Glasersfeld assert. The structures we should interpret constructivism with are dynamic biological structures, webs, bodies, networks, and so on. Our beliefs adapt to our experiences in the world the way species adapt to their environment, not by representing it, but by adaptively reorganizing themselves to cope with that environment. The way, for example, our lungs have evolved to cope with the atmosphere. They are not a picture or representation of the atmosphere, they're a structure that copes effectively with it. The same applies to our learning and knowing. As the authors say, we construe and reconstrue meaning constantly as we learn and develop. An analogy that I like to use to highlight how we construct and embody knowledge is learning tennis. When I learn tennis, I do not take in objective information about it. That would mean stepping out of my own body and previous personal experiences. Rather, I reorganized and elaborated on the relationships among my neurons, the rest of my body's nervous system, my muscles, and my web of beliefs in order to play the game. I also changed my relationship to rackets, tennis balls, nets, courts, and other players. But this chapter focuses on individual learning, so I will leave relationships to social stuff and objects to later chapters.
I've heard a lot about constructivist teaching. What does that mean?
Hmm, that is a bit of a misnomer, I think. Piagetian constructivism is a theory about how individuals learn. It's a learning theory. It's not really a theory of teaching, even though it may prompt you to change your teaching in positive ways. Constructivism just tells you what we can't do in teaching. That is, input knowledge into individuals' heads or directly control what they learn from our classes. I know that many educational thinkers have tried to articulate constructivist approaches to teaching, such as discovery learning. These sorts of teaching strategies may be good, but they don't necessarily follow from constructivism as a learning theory. As a constructivist, for example, I can still do lectures in class. I just have to expect that people will interpret the sounds I make in all kinds of diverse and interesting ways, ways that I can't necessarily predict or control.